The countdown to the solar eclipse is heating up. Monday, April 8th is the big day. For the first time since 1979, our part of the world, roughly, will experience its first total solar eclipse. The next one won't happen until 2044. Now, there's a lot of fanfare surrounding the 3 to 4 minutes the eclipse will last, starting at about 3:20 in the afternoon. By the way, one hotspot, if not the hotspot, to catch the event is in Niagara Falls. It is in the path of totality when the sun's light is completely blocked by the moon. Now, Jim Diodati is the mayor of Niagara Falls. He joins us now. Mayor, thanks for being with us today. I'm wondering, what is the latest estimate? How many people are you expecting in your city?
Well, that's a great question, Melissa. We have a major U.S. documentary company that covers these types of events, and they're down here. They've been covering it for several weeks, and they asked us the question, do you know how many people will come? And we said, well, we're not really sure. The last total solar eclipse in Niagara Falls was 99 years ago, so we don't know. And they said, what's the biggest event you ever had? And we said, Nick Wallenda in 2012, we had upwards of 150,000 people, and they said expect 8 to 9 times that number that day.
Wow.
So that puts us well over 1 million, and especially since National Geographic declared Niagara Falls the best place in the world to be that day, and we've got confirmation that NASA will be here, the Canadian Space Agency, and Guinness Book of World Records will be here as well. So we know everybody's planning for it to be a very big day and a record-setting day for Niagara Falls.
Definitely. One for the history books. I want to get a little nerdy with you right now. I'm wondering what the logistics are that you have to figure out to host this historic crowd. I'm thinking of everything from paramedics to parking, and I was reading that you even need to beef up your cell phone capabilities.
You're exactly right, Melissa. We've had to think of things that you don't even think about. And luckily, you know, we've been running Canada's New Year's Eve show for many years. And right at midnight, when the fireworks go off, everybody's trying to, you know, do FaceTime or text people or send messages. And that's usually the network goes down. There's not enough bandwidth. So we brought in some auxiliary towers. They call them cows, so that we'll have extra bandwidth. We also compete with the U.S. signal being on the border. So we know with these kinds of numbers that everybody's going to be trying to do the same thing. So we've looked at extra capacity there. We're dealing with police, Niagara Parks Police, ambulance, fire. We know the roads are going to be very full. The parking lots are going to be jammed. Hotels are full. So we're making sure we'll have people stationed all over. So the one aspect, of course, is safety. We want to make sure everybody has a good time, a fun time, a safe time. And at the same time, the other side is the entertainment. What are people going to say after the effect? How are they going to reflect back on the event? And we want to make sure they have a good time. So we brought in entertainment. We'll have the Niagara Symphony Orchestra playing during the eclipse. So it'll have this ominous, appropriate music to get everybody in the mood. We'll have it all amplified throughout the park. And then we'll have Glorious Sons and a lot of other Canadian talent. And some people have said, well, why would you bring in more talent that'll bring in more people? And that's actually not why we did it. We're doing it so that everyone doesn't leave at the same time, so we don't have gridlock, right? So we hope for a gradual peel-off effect. People hang out, have a bite to eat, and gradually work their ways to their car, to their hotels, or wherever they're planning to go.
Like, it sounds like a good time, but I'm wondering at this point, are you telling people, hey, if you aren't planning on being here just yet, don't make this part of your plans?
Well, so you know what we're telling them? Plan in advance. Don't decide the day of, hey, honey, what do you say? Let's go to Niagara Falls. It's too late. So what you need to do, plan in advance, because the Monday now is going to be a day off for all the schools. It's a long weekend, essentially. Hotel rooms are pretty full. We've got people, vacation rentals. People are bringing RVs down, setting up tents. There's a lot of people planning some very cool things in fields and backyards. The main thing, Melissa, we're telling people is come prepared. Make sure your gas tank is full or your car is charged. Have your glasses. You've got to bring your glass. Don't expect us to have them. Bring your medication, your water, cereal bar. Come prepared so that it's not a negative experience. It's going to be so busy. I know Metrolinx is going to be adding a bunch of trains like they did for Nick Wallenda. That's the best bet to come down. And worst case scenario, if you have to walk from the train station, it's a 20-minute walk. Bring comfortable shoes. Come prepared for the day is what we're saying. It's going to be difficult to host that many people at one time. So if you're coming, come prepared and don't come at the last minute.
Can you give us a sense of how local businesses are preparing now? Because this has to be great news for your local economy, but there are reports emerging about what sounds like price gouging.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's some dynamic pricing, and of course, you expect to pay more during high season. It's like buying tickets during Super Bowl or if you go to Disney during spring break. So, yeah, there's been a few unfortunate incidents that we're dealing with through our hotel association and Niagara Falls Tourism. We're always a good host. We're Canada's #1 leisure destination, and we want to make sure that everybody is upstanding ethical business standards. But occasionally, there's going to be the odd incident, and we're trying to keep a handle on that, and people are bringing it to our attention. So yeah, that does happen, but businesses are preparing. They're trying to have extra food, extra water, extra everything, because it's quite frankly, it's more people than we've ever had at one time ever. So it's going to be a little more than we can handle, and we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. So all hands on deck. And we know it's a once in a lifetime. The next total solar eclipse in Niagara Falls will be in 120 years. So I won't be around to see that one. I'm sure most of us won't be. So we're telling people it's a good place to be, a place to be with your kids. It'll be educational, experiential, and Melissa, it's a different approach. In '79, when we had the partial solar eclipse, I can remember they put us in the classroom, close the curtains, stay away from the windows. Today, we take a different approach. It's more experiential. We say, bring your glasses, learn, experience, but do it in a safe way.
Mayor, what if it's cloudy?
Well, that's another great question, Melissa. So we are watching the weather as of now, and I know that's a ways out. So far, so good. But that's going to be the big determinant. I mean, no matter what, it's going to get dark. It's going to be ominous. It's still going to be a very cool experience. Hopefully it isn't cloudy, but right at this point, we're going to be watching your weather forecast, find out what's going to happen.
Well, and you can bet our City News team right now actually is getting ready to visit Niagara Falls for the big occasion about a week and a half away from now. Thank you so much for making time for us today as you get set for this record-setting, potentially, it looks like, event in Niagara Falls.
Thank you.
Looking good.